Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now today we're going to be talking about 5 teams to look out for in the Vanarama National League this season. Obviously, as we approach the new year, halfway through the Vanarama National League season, there is a lot of teams to look out for that over the next coming months can pull off something special. And today we're going to be talking about 5 teams in the National League that you shouldn't write off and that could be an underdog. So starting off with the first one, we start off with Yeovil Town. Obviously National League South champions last season. It was a big achievement for them, getting back promotion. Obviously it was important that they do get straight back up following their relegation from the National League, and at the first team of asking they did go straight back up. And yeah, fair to say they've had a decent start of the season. I mean, the start of the season it wasn't too quick with things gelling, but this is a surprising one to me because I genuinely didn't even know they were in this position. But they currently sit 8th place, 1 place outside of the playoffs. I mean, for a team that just got promoted from the league below and now sit 8th in December, surely you've got to give them some praise, and surely they've got to be in contention to make the playoffs. I mean, could you imagine Yeovil making the Football League next season? I mean, it is still fairly early in the season, but when you're in December and you're sitting 8th, just like the playoffs, and it's obviously you're going to have a good season. And to be fair, I think people did back them to have a decent season, but getting playoffs is probably a massive overachievement for them this season. But they've got a brilliant squad, and you know, it's a real good group of players. And fair to say that when we go away to their place, we might struggle as we did last season in the FA Cup. But yeah, it is a real underdog thing. I didn't even know they were in that position as well, so very surprised about that. But yeah, Yeovil Town definitely want to look out for. So next up on the list is Altrincham. Now obviously Altrincham did make the playoffs last season, and they lost their star man in Chris Clark in the summer to Peterborough United, and that was a massive loss for them. He was a brilliant player for them, and people had them down to drop off quite a bit, but fair to say they've still maintained their status in a team that wants to get promoted, and currently sit just below Yeovil in 9th, I believe. And yeah, they cannot be written off. And the start of the season they did started off really slow. I'm sure they were towards the relegation zone the first month or two of the season, if I'm correct. And you know, they've definitely shown that Chris Clark has took a big tool on them, but they're definitely not, you know, fully written off just yet. And yeah, they're having a decent season. And obviously when Gateshead travelled to them, we got a 2-2 draw in Carl Magny's first game, which wasn't a bad result. But Altrincham at home are a real good side, and they've definitely got to still be in contention. Although losing Chris Clark, they are definitely still one to look out for. And obviously it's only December, so there is still a lot of time for them to continue that form and push further up. But yeah, it's looking really good for Altrincham at the minute. So third up is Hartlepool United. Now fair to say, put simply, their season has not went to plan, has not been as good as they wanted to be. You know, things haven't been clicking. Obviously they sacked their manager due to the results. Obviously the big one that ended up getting them the sack was that 1-0 defeat, or was it on penalties? It was in the replay of the FA Cup against Brackley Town. And yeah, safe to say that since that sacking they have started to pick up their form a bit. Obviously for me, Hartlepool United probably one of the best squads in the National League. And you know, I've got some quality players. Disruwe, he's a good player. Just, you know, they need to start clicking more, and that's starting to show. And we'll see Adam Campbell Obviously won promotion to League One with Crawley Town, obviously former Gateshead player as well. He's proven in the National League he's a big goal scorer in it, and he just hasn't really hit the ground running yet. And you know, they've definitely got the squad that can get promoted. It's just slowly starting to click together now, which is obviously sooner better rather than later. And yeah, they're definitely a team to look out for. Next up on this list is Southend United. Obviously they probably weren't given as much praise as they deserved to this season due to the fact of their problems last season off the pitch. Obviously with the points deductions it was not ideal, but this season they've had no point deductions, and although they aren't sitting in too good of a spot, their form is starting to get back on track. And you know, some people did say that they could win the league this season, and you know, they've definitely still got that squad too. And you know, it's just all about for them now just to keep the things clicking, and obviously off the pitch they've got no worries about that, so they can focus fully now on pushing up that league table. And obviously without that 10-point deduction last season they would have actually finished just outside of the playoffs. So that just goes to prove that with that point deductions, the fact that they still would have finished outside the playoffs without it, that shows that they are a really good squad. And they've just, this season has been a slow start, but there's no reason why they can't pick it up due to the fact there's no worries off the pitch. And hopefully now they can just click on and push. And finally on this list, I was going to include York City, but I don't think they need to be reviewed in this video because they are probably favourites to win the league at this point. So I'm not involving them, but not biased or anything, but I am including Gateshead, my team. And you know, after Rob Elliott departed the club, it was a bit of a low, safe to say. Obviously the first game of the season, a 5-1 win, Greg Ollie hat-trick. Unfortunately we did lose Joe Grayson. He has just came back and made a goal and an assist in our last game, so fair to say he's made the impact. And obviously Greg Ollie, a nasty challenge which has led him to be out for the season now, so we've lost my captain. And you know, we continued that form once that happened, and we're unbeaten for quite some time. And I think the first defeat was Dagenham 7-1, which was definitely an overreaction in terms of people saying that we aren't gonna have any aims of getting promoted from losing 7-1, but that game we actually had a decent performance. And I think people were a bit overreactive due to the fact of the scoreline. You know, teams do have them days where they do get them sort of results, and obviously it's unacceptable to lose 7-1, but it wasn't a bad performance, and we did bounce back from it. But yeah, for us, obviously Rob Elliott left and Ben Clark came in, and it didn't go to plan at all. Obviously Ben Clark just stepped in due to the fact no one else was there, and we didn't get the results we wanted. Obviously get knocked out of the FA Cup by Hednesford, 2 divisions below I believe. And yeah, it really was not good. And obviously after that, after we got knocked out of the FA Cup, Carl Magnay came in, and it's not been the best of starts. It's been every week we can win and next week we'll lose. It's not been the best start, but with the squad we have we can definitely get promoted with the type of players we have. And you know, people say that you know, we aren't really like a big club due to the fact of our budget, but the thing is now we can't really be compared because of our budget and stuff, because put simply we are a top 7 team at this point. And you know, we've been without any financial worries for years now, and we need to start looking at ourselves as a top 7 team and a team that is one of the biggest teams in the league. And yeah, we're still sitting quite comfortably in the playoffs, but results just haven't been going our way in recent weeks. And you know, we've got a chance to correct that on Saturday. Obviously we've got the FA Trophy which we won last season, bear in mind, so that is another reason why we shouldn't be looked as a team that can't go up, because we've won silverware already in the last year. And yeah, it's been a massive 2024 for Gateshead. I mean, you know, the amount of things that have happened. Obviously January we lost all our players, and then we came back and reached the playoffs. We're not going to talk about what happened with the playoffs, but obviously win the FA Trophy. But that's another thing, we reached the playoffs last season, and if in my opinion, if we were allowed to play in the playoffs, I do believe we would have went up with the form we were in and the squad we had, the squad depth. But that's another reason, because due to the fact of what happened last season, maybe that's a big confidence boost and a motivation for the players to go out there and do it this time round and get revenge for what happened last season. Obviously we do have it all sorted now, so I think people are starting to think of us as contenders to go up now, due to the fact we've got the stadium lease sorted. But let me know in the comments who you think are underdogs this season in the National League, and a team who shouldn't be underestimated. But thank you all for watching, and the next video on the channel I believe will be tonight, as Bowden Cardew take on Jarrow. If not, it will be tomorrow as Gator take on Sunderland under-21s in the National League Cup. But until then, take care.